Okay, so Lenovo sent me over a bunch of documentation. I can't go to CES this year. I have too much family stuff going on, so I can't go this year. But they did send me over a bunch of documentation, actually days ago, to be honest, a week ago. I went through them, but I wanted to like kind of do some of it live-ish. Live. I'm under an NDA until later today. By the time you see this, it will lift it, obviously. So I have a rough idea of what's in here. I can't show you everything, but I'm going to go through some of them right here. And there's some really cool stuff here. So, okay, we're going to go over some of the new Lenovo stuff coming for 2026. My NDA will have ended by the time this came. I can't be in CES this year because of just family stuff, but Lenovo kindly sent over a lot of documentation a couple weeks ago. Actually, I've read through like kind of quickly a bunch of them just to kind of get an idea what's going on, but I kind of want to do some of this with you guys at the same time. So let's go through. We're going to start with some of the Legion stuff. I do a lot of Legion content, so that's good. If you know my channel, you know that I called the Legion 5. You know that I called the Legion 5 the kind of gaming laptop of the year. Not because it was the perfect laptop, but because it was perfect at kind of being good at everything. It was the Goldilocks, we'll put it that way. That's lovely. You love to see that. It kind of didn't focus on like being the biggest, most powerful laptop, being the smallest thing. It had kind of a little bit of everything going on. So I'm happy to see that they are doing that again. I called kind of the AMD or Intel. I did a full video comparing them, AMD and Intel, and said they're both good. It's just your choice. We can see here they've broken them out. So these laptops look exactly the same. One has an AMD badge, one will have an Intel badge. And they're calling this the Legion 5A on the left here, right here. Legion 5A for AMD, Legion 5I for Intel. So that makes sense. So they have two of them separated out in terms of name rather than just Legion 5. It's Legion 5A, Legion 5I. So they're going to be doing a lot of this A stuff going forward, whereas before it was just like Legion 7, Legion 7I. And the AMD one was kind of like, is it nebulous? So now they have the A moniker on there. It's going to be very obvious what we're looking at. Now, a lot of this stuff technically is under draft. It's subject to change at any time. So this is just like pre-release information. It's all pre-release information. Any of this can change, just so you know. It can get better, worse, different. They can put out new stuff. They can change it. There might be typos. There's all kinds of stuff here. This is just documentation for CES. These laptops are not like coming out necessarily with this. So just a warning. Don't come out and be like, oh, we both said this. I often say stupid things. It's what I do. Anyways, so we'll start with one of the AMD ones. We actually have two of them over here. So this is the AMD model here on the left. We have some information here. So they're going to be coming out with the AMD Ryzen AI 465, which is, it's a refresh of a sense of the 3000. And then they also have a literal refresh, the 250. So the AMD 250 is like actually like based on the 7000 series, like a 7840HS. That's fine. It's a great CPU and it still holds up, and it's in the one that's out for 2025. Very good. This one's going to have up to 5060, just like last year, up to 32 gigabytes of RAM. You can add more, just so you know, up to 2 gigabytes of storage, and there's 2 slots in these. Same screen, more or less, 1600p OLED screen. This all looks exactly the same. It's essentially just more or less the same laptop. One of the things that I really like about these, by the way, just so you know, we'll bring this in here, is this one does come with a USB 4. USB 4 is not on all of the AMD laptops. These chips are capable of doing USB 4, and that's fantastic. To have like such a budget-friendly, more portable gaming laptop with USB 4 was always big for me, so that's awesome. This is the new one over here, the Ryzen AI 465, which is now going to be using, it's essentially a refresh of the 365, which is good. It's a very good chip. So we're going to be seeing a refresh over here with a newer, kind of better CPU. So that's good. It's a little bit more power from the AMD stuff. They're both going to be good, but this one on the left here is going to offer more power for sure. Like it's just going to be a more powerful system. And you get more AI stuff, of course, right? More modern AI if you care about that. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. Same GPU, like same peak GPU. Everything else is basically the same here. So more or less exactly the same, but you are getting upgraded specs in terms of a better CPU. So one of the downsides of the AMD one was the 250 and the 350 did fall behind the Intel one for sure. Of course, they cost less, but they did fall behind in CPU performance. Still great, still fantastic laptops. But now we're getting to the point where the AMD one, you get the 465. It's a good chip. It's a good chip. It's going to have a really good iGPU. It's going to be quite powerful. So that's fantastic. Let's keep going. Okay, and then we have the Intel one. This one is particularly interesting to me. Again, the AMD one's great. It's going to look fantastic, but it's a little bit more interesting to me. And so this is the new spec for the, so this is the new draft spec for the Intel model. Again, Intel, generally speaking, is more interesting right now. AMD is kind of a bit stagnant, and by that I mean very stagnant. They still have good stuff, but generally speaking, Intel is innovating like big time, like very fast. They're putting all kinds of cool stuff. They're really pushing the envelope forward faster. So that's really good. We have over here the AMD, or so the Intel 386. So it's a Panther Lake CPU. This thing looks fantastic on paper. I'm happy that they're doing the H one. So in 2025, they had the HX Arrow Lake, which are great. HX stuff is great. 255HX, fantastic CPU. But it's an HX chip, so it does require more wattages to really get to its peak. Still efficient at lower watts, but it's a more beefy CPU. This is an H chip, the new Panther Lake stuff, so it's more efficient, right? It's going to be more like the Arrow Lake 255H, not HX. So this over here, we should be getting incredible performance out of this CPU. Like I'm talking very good desktop level performance out of an H chip. Everything I've seen from the Panther Lake, it's still like leaking mode right now. CES is ongoing. It hasn't hit the ground like running yet for that, but from what I'm seeing, it's fantastic. I mean, the iGPU is supposed to be amazing on this thing, but the CPU will be fantastic. So this is going to be, this already before it's out is probably going to be in high contention for laptop of the year for me. It's the same 15-inch chassis. You get all the fixins of the Lenovo Legion, a little bit slimmer, a little bit more portable. Typically the cost is a little bit lower. It's well balanced. It only does go up to a 5060, at least for now. Not sure if it'll go up to a 5070, but that's okay. The jump between a 5060 and 5070 is not monumentally massive, but there is going to be this is a fantastic CPU. We also have a refresh of another fantastic laptop. Probably my like all-time favorite Legion has always been the like 7 Slim. If you want to change the name of it, now it's just like the 7i. They keep changing the name of it, but it's always been my favorite chassis, like all metal, super premium. We know it comes in the glacial white. It's a beautiful laptop. I've owned it several times over the years. I had this year's model recently. It's a lovely laptop, just absolutely peak beautiful design, all metal, super premium, very thin. They made it thinner in 2025. And over here, now they're introducing the Nebula color. So the dark color looks beautiful, and it's not plastic. It shouldn't be plastic, at least. It shouldn't be plastic. They should keep the metal, which means it's not going to be as much of a fingerprint magnet as the plastic Legions. The plastic Legions are great, but they are prone to fingerprints. It's just the way that it is. These have a much more resistant, smooth coating. So if you get it, they're easy to give a quick wipe down. So these look really nice, actually. Visually, they look stunning. These are going to be just absolutely lovely. And what's interesting here, there's something different here. As you know, last year, 2025, these came with Intel. Well, now we have this draft, but this is AMD, which is fine. The AMD HX470 is a beast, right? It's based on the 370H. It's Lenovo. So just so you know, AMD is just, they're not putting out really anything new this year. There's a couple tweaks in the really high-end stuff, but most of these like mobile chips are just the same thing. They've literally just changed the name. So 370 is 470. It's the same thing. That being said, the 370 is a really good CPU. My mini PC, which is just right off camera, you can't see it, it's right there, running over Oculink with a 5070 Ti, yada, yada, yada. It runs a AMD 370, so same thing. Very powerful. So this is a good chip for AMD. I'm happy that they put in like the good chip. So you're going to get a lot of raw compute here. You're going to be looking at Cinebench scores around 20 to 25,000. That's going to be very good. That will put it in line with the Panther Lake stuff in theory, somewhere around there. So this will be a good chip, meaning the Intel one will still be around with the HX. If you need that extra bit of CPU performance, you need to get 30,000 and Cinebench, you really need to rip out that CPU performance. That'll still be around. The HX one here will just offer the AMD offering, a little bit less CPU peak performance, but there's always thermals and that kind of stuff that'll be good. It does not use SODIMM this year. That's interesting. So the the Intel one uses SODIMM, so you can upgrade it as you go. We're in the RAM apocalypse now, so unfortunately, as weird as it sounds, normally I'm always like, just buy your RAM yourself. But the laptop with lower RAM, put in your own RAM. It's cheaper to buy it yourself, but it will actually be cheaper for Lenovo to buy it. Lenovo has to pay a fortune for all this RAM, by the way. All companies do. Dell, Alienware, HP, Asus, whatever. Everyone's paying for RAM. Everybody. So it costs a lot of money. But ooh, look at that. But now we're getting to the point where they can probably get it cheaper than you because they're still just one step removed from the manufacturer, whereas we are now, dealing with the third-party companies, Newegg, Best Buy, all these kind of people. They have to make money because they're a business, etc. Or you can't even find it from them and you have to buy it off someone on Facebook and you pay a fortune. So at this point, in 2026, we may be looking to get RAM from the company, which is fine here because it is soldered, but because they're giving it up to 64. And because RAM's so expensive, you're probably not getting an 8 gigabyte laptop being like, I'll just upgrade it myself. And it's like, there's $700 to do that more. So they're adding 64 gigabytes of RAM, 2x32, which is the way that they're, but it's low profile, DDR5. It's going to use less battery life. So less battery, consume less watts. So it will give you better battery as you're going. So that'll be nice and fast. So you're going to get fast RAM. It says it can only achieve 8,000, but it's still fast. So that's maybe an AMD limitation. It's going to be nice fast memory, which will give you a little bit more performance as well. And it's going to consume less battery because it's going to be more efficient than SODIMM, but it's going to be soldered. However, it goes up to 64 gigabytes, so whatever. You get NVMe here. You end up with two slots. So it looks like they haven't tweaked that. 2242, probably with adapters like these here, which I just took out of my Yoga. So typically, this might actually be the one from my Yoga. They use these little adapters. So you'll be able to just take that out if you want to put in a 2280 without issue. Can't say for sure, but probably. So that's good. Screen looks exactly the same. That's good. It'll be glossy, unfortunately. I believe it'll be glossy. So some people don't like gloss, but it'll be a nice screen overall. Big battery, fantastic. Quad speaker setup. Where did it go? There goes quad speaker setup. For the light speakers, you get 2 tweeters and 2 woofers. So it should sound good just like last time. USB 4 for AMD is great. Obviously fantastic. So that's a great looking laptop. Another really banger from last year. And now they've added AMD and it should be nice. And it comes in Nebula as well. So if some people don't like the Glacier White because it is pretty gaudy. I like it, but it's pretty gaudy. This is going to be way more discreet. We do have 2 new LOQ or lock laptops. I like the lock. They've been getting better and better and better every single year. It's funny. They were, when they first came out, they were fine. There's nothing wrong with them, but they were like, there was definitely like not as nice than as the Legion. There was like an obvious separation, but they're getting better and better now. So we have here an Intel lock or LOQ, however you want to say it, and we have an AMD one. So AMD is looking good. Obviously, cannot be inserted into paint. Yes, it can. So you can see there visually, it looks great. Right, you get the black keys, silver chassis, resistance fingerprints, yada, yada, yada. This looks like a nice laptop. Cool new background. AMD red, Intel blue on the right there. And it comes with a good chip. The AMD Ryzen 250, awesome chip. Again, just a refresh, 8840 EHS or whatever. Same thing. Might be the 8840U, technically. It'll be fine. Good chip. All the way up to a 5060, fantastic. SODIMM here, so you're going to be able to upgrade it times 2, obviously. 2 NVMe slots as well. Probably with adapters as well, and they should theoretically have at least one 2280. That's great. Yada, yada, yada. Everything's looking great. Big improvement this year, at least for my market, is 1600p. A lot of times these locks get locked down to 1200p or 1080p, which is fine, I guess, but I don't want a 1080p laptop. I want a 1600p laptop because nowadays scaling is so good that you can just use lots of scaling if your GPU is not up to the task of rendering 1600p, or you can just decrease the resolution so you have more options, but you can't increase your resolution. You can't go from 1200p to 1600p. So you're always locked to that lower, more grainy, inferior screen. This is 100% sRGB color, 180 hertz refresh, fantastic, nice and bright too for a lock especially. 400 nits, 15.3 inch, so not quite as big as the Legion. That's good. It's going to actually put it closer to that Legion 15.1 inch, that one that I was like, it's a really nice laptop. It'll be closer to that. So it's going to be in the slightly more portable section. So again, it's actually pulling the lock a little bit further away from the Lenovo Legion, which is a good thing for Lenovo. Before it was like the Lenovo Legion and then the budget Lenovo Legion that you can't afford Legion, so you get the lock. Now it's like, no, they're both good and they're both different. They're separating them out. So this is great. This is a great look for Lenovo. I really like to see this. It looks fantastic, honestly. And we have the new Intel one, and the Intel one, once again, is probably going to be my pick this year for the lock because, let's put it on this one, because it just looks fantastic. Over here we have essentially the exact same specs. Everything's the same, which is a good thing. It's a really, really good thing. But we get the better chip. The 356H, in theory, we'll see how this chip is, but it's a true Panther. Like in Lenovo and AMD are both weird with naming, but it's a Core Ultra 7 356. So it's a Panther Lake CPU. It's an H branded one, so it's not going to be a wattage monster or anything like that. It's going to be nice. You're going to get 4 P cores, 8 efficiency cores, 4 low power cores. So this is going to be really good for heavy CPU tasks, video editing, code compile, rendering, like that kind of stuff, like pro stuff. You also do get that exact same screen, that really nice 1600p screen, good color space, yada, yada, yada. It's a slightly more portable package as well, fast, up to a 5060. So this is also going to be a really good, I'm thinking myself, a very good budget offering, budget-friendly offering compared to the Legion, probably, and slightly more portable. Nice silver chassis as well, resist fingerprints, for people who are doing on-the-go gaming, students, and actually professionals. I think the LOQ is now moving in towards people who might be doing like video editing, engineering, that kind of stuff, because you get a really good screen, being high resolution and good colors, and you get a really good CPU and a good GPU. And it's slightly more portable. So this is going to be a really good pick. I think the LOQ is going to really accelerate this year based on what I'm seeing in the specs here. Unless Lenovo does something real weird, I don't see how they can botch this one. It looks really good. Okay, and one more Legion SKU, and this is the big one for me. This is a big one for me. Big, 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 big one. I might even make a little video on its own about this one, just a little side thing. But Bo, you say, you review all kinds of handhelds now. You've become something of a YouTube handheld guy as well. You use them on your daily as your daily driver for primary gaming purposes. You review them, you go through them, and you always say, I have a favorite handheld. I've been doing this recently. What is it? Well, it's the Lenovo Legion Go S Steam Edition. I love this handheld. This is my only handheld I have now. I got rid of all the other ones. It's just the perfect Goldilocks handheld. Steam OS is still the way to go on handhelds. Windows is great. Windows is great. I do love Windows for handhelds. Windows is a problematic mess as well, though. You can do a lot with Windows, but you can do a lot with Steam, and Steam is super, super streamlined, you know, being able to sleep, all that kind of stuff. So the Legion Go S, specifically the Steam Edition, became my handheld. Like, this is my handheld. I use it every day now. I went from not gaming that much to gaming all the time. It's fantastic. Well, I hope that gave you the lead up for what we're looking at here, and I think a lot of people know, what's coming here, and that is the Legion Go S Steam Edition. Very straightforward. I mean, it was like leaked. It was like, oh my God, is it coming? And everyone's like, yeah, but you can't say anything. And I kept my lips shut, and I just watched everyone debate about it coming, but it was coming. So the Legion Go S Steam Edition, Legion Go S2 Steam Edition. What's the difference? Well, this is a Legion Go 2, but it runs Steam. Therefore, it's a better handheld than Legion Go 2, in my opinion. Why? Well, you get the same chip, the Z2E. This has the Z1E, so you're going to go and you're going to get a performance bump. It's not massive. It's not like now you have 70% more performance, but the Z2E is more powerful, 5 to 10%, but more specifically, it's more efficient at lower wattages. So one of the negatives here on this handheld here is it's a fantastic handheld. You put it down to 15-ish watts, which is around Steam Deck level, and it does outperform the Steam Deck, but you do see a fairly considerable drop in performance. It does come down from its peak wattage a fair bit, and then when you start to go below 15 watts, it does start to slow down because the Z1E is just not as efficient as a chip, just the way that it is. The Z2E over here is more efficient in my testing, and I believe that a lot of the other handheld people out there have found the same. It's more efficient. So when you take that thing from, 30, 35, whatever peak, and you start to decrease that down to like 15 watts, you don't see as much of a performance drop as something like this here. And then if you go below that 15 watts, it still starts to maintain its performance better. It doesn't drop off as fast. Why does this matter? Well, this handheld is going to potentially be a really good battery king type handheld, really good battery life, really good efficiency. You get the streamlined aspects of Steam OS. Steam OS for one thing like quick resume. You just hit the power button. You don't have to deal with Windows Sleep, which is just an absolute nightmare. It's just the worst thing ever. And you're right into, the operating system. If you're in the middle of a game, it just comes into the game. That's why I use this, because I'm in the middle of a game like, oh, something's happening. I just sleep my console, put it down, and when I come back, I'm like, let's get back in, press the button, and you're running. The whole user experience of Steam is why Steam Deck is still the most popular, right? It's because it's so easy to use, right? It's user-friendly. Like, yeah, it's not powerful, but it's user-friendly. That's why I've been pushing the narrative of this. If you know me online and you know that I'm on places like Reddit, YouTube, obviously, Discord, I've been pumping, this thing's been on sale, and I've just been telling everyone, buy it, it's the best. This one is potentially going to just be better in every single way. It'll be more expensive, of course. It's a brand new handheld with brand new tech, but it's going to be more powerful. It's got the Cadillac some of the Cadillac features where, of course, you can remove this, like it's like a Joy-Con. That's like a patented term, but it's a Joy-Con, like the Nintendo Switch. So you can take that off, right? You can use it in that. You can use it in like the mouse mode type thing. You have access to a significantly better touchpad here than the Legion Go S. That's really good. It's just a nicer handheld. Bigger screen, of course. You do get a slightly larger screen as well. And there's some other good stuff here. So we do get that performance uplift that we're expecting with the Z2E. Great. RAM, 32 gigabytes, fast RAM. Great. Same as that one there. Speakers are better on the Legion Go. Speakers are better on the Legion Go 2 for sure. It does have better speakers. So that's nice. You get, it's not its strength by any means because it's a tablet style, but it is good. Upgradability, it says 2242, but you can put in 2280. Very good. Then you get the banger screen, right? So I prefer, I often lean for, like old IPS screens when it comes to laptops and things like that, but handhelds typically have glossy screens. So I don't really see a benefit of, IPS over OLED. This is a killer screen, but of course I'm going to take the 0.8 inch larger screen that's also an OLED. Like, I'm not deranged, right? It's just a better screen. They're going to be both glossy regardless, and handhelds are much easier to manipulate in terms of gloss, so it's not even remotely as big of a deal. 100% DCI-P3. This thing is going to be banger. We already know how the screen is. And here's another thing that's going to be really important. You're going to be pairing a 74 watt-hour battery. One of the only critiques of this handheld is the battery's not big. It still does well because it's Steam, but it's not a big battery. Here, we're going to be pairing 74 watt-hour battery. That's a big battery. We're going to be pairing it with a CPU that is more efficient, especially at lower watts. You can play more games at lower watts, partially due to being more powerful, also partially just being more capable at lower watts, more efficient. And you're also going to be comparing the fact that you now have SteamOS, which is also way more efficient than Windows. Like, it just increases performance and battery life. So this thing's going to be a banger. It will cost money, but the thing about this handheld and why I've never really had issues with the Legion Go 2, despite it's costing more than, like the Legion Go 1 and yada, 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 and some of the competition, is it has the extra features, right? Like, it has the detachable Joy-Cons. That is right there. That's a different thing. Like, it's interesting. It's different. It has the large 8.8 inch OLED screen, right? Like, you're paying for these extra things. It's not like you're like, I'm going to buy the ROG Ally Xbox, and it's literally the same screen as the previous one. They added some little like handle things on it to make it like new. And then, they put the chip in that's a little better, but whatever. It's not that big of a difference. It still runs Windows. And also, we're just going to, increase the price by a massive, like, honestly, compared to some of them, use like almost 100%. Right? They didn't do that. Lenovo was like, well, it's the Legion Go 2. It has to be completely ahead of all the competition in terms of all these neat features to make it interesting. And it also needs to be a complete iterative improvement over the Legion Go 1. And they've done that. So this thing is going to be great. It will be expensive. But if you're looking for the Cadillac handheld, this is what you get. If you're still trying to keep budget super low, the Legion Go S Steam Edition here in my hand is still going to be an awesome pick. They're like companions to one another. You want this one, keep your costs down. You're okay with, not quite as much performance and battery life and yada, yada, and all the extra features, you get this one. But then if you're like, I want to get access to all the Cadillac features and I'm okay spending more for it, this is the one. This is the handheld. This is the handheld. So this thing looks incredible.